All right. So
do we have some big news?
I think we do.
I think we've got some big news, y'all.
There's like an adult puzzle that people put together.
I think we are actually what they call adulting.
We are adulting. Our puzzle is coming together. I think the last couple pieces, maybe like a child.
Ooh.
But owning a house is a piece of the adult puzzle, and we are homeowners, kind of. We bought a house. It's being built. So we don't live in it yet. We don't have it yet.
But it's on its way.
It's under contract.
Yes.
It's ours. And it has just been an incredible journey.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's podcast, we want to bring you through the whole process. And we also want to give you some nuggets because we've learned a lot along the way of being able to be a homeowner in today's market. It's not like 5 years ago. It's not even like 2 years ago. There is just a certain thing happening right now, and we just feel incredibly lucky. It's almost like we won the lottery in the sense of how lucky we got that we got this.
A miracle that we got this, but we'll go into all that.
Yeah, we'll go into all that. So let's hop into today's episode. Welcome, everyone, to the Freddie and Alyssa Show. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to like the page, that would be awesome. And if you're listening on a platform like iTunes, hello out there. If you want to leave us a 5-star review because you think we deserve it, that would be incredible. We've been putting out content now for over 4 years, and we couldn't be doing what we love without all of your love and support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, before we hop into today's episode, let's hear a word from our sponsor. There's honestly nothing more important than taking care of yourself. Can we agree? Because if you're not feeling your best, you can't be your best. Sambucol helps you feel your best with powerful immune support powered by nature's superfruit, black elderberry. And I just so happen to have some Sambucol right here, the gummies. I love it in the gummy form. I can pop one in the morning with my black coffee. So not only am I taking care of what I'm putting in my body with food and exercise, I love adding Sambucol into the mix. I have one gummy every morning with my black coffee. The gummies are packed with vitamin C and zinc, and I love incorporating it into my wellness journey. So if you want to add Sambucol into your wellness journey, you can get 15% off your next order of $9.99 or more at sambucolusa.com and use promo code Freddie and Alyssa 15 for 15% off. Again, to get 15% off your next order of $9.99 or more, you can do so at sambucolusa.com and use promo code Freddie and Alyssa 15 for 15% off your order. Now back to the show. All right, babe. So let's take everyone on the journey.
All right.
Let's paint the picture and kind of share with people our plan and everything. So let me kick it to you. Where do you want to even start with this? Because there's just so much to share.
So the year was 2020.
2 hours later.
And my husband and I, my then fiance, were going, hey, we want to leave California. It's time to move to Florida. I feel that was always part of our plan.
Yeah.
You knew I always wanted to do real estate and end up by my family long term. So after looking into everything, we go, let's do it. And we packed up our car with our stuff and we sent out all of our furniture with a moving company, which that on its own was just crazy. But aren't you happy now that we saved our furniture?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I would have made a huge mistake there.
Because what did you want to do really quickly?
I just wanted to sell it.
You want to make some quick cash.
Quick cash, and it would have been a big fail.
But the reason it would have been a big fail is it took us probably a couple years to really collect a lot of great pieces. And, some stuff we got great deals on because I love Z Gallery. And in California, they have a Z Gallery outlet, I guess you could call it. So they will put stuff there if someone who purchased it maybe decided, hey, this is too big, or hey, there's a knickknack on here, something that no one can see.
I mean, the smallest little chip.
The smallest.
They take 50% off.
Yeah.
So you get $1,000 piece for $500
and
because of
amazing.
a thing that you can't even see.
And every Saturday they would have new pieces that go to this outlet, if you will. So we would go on Saturdays, and it was probably an hour away from us in Gardena, California. So we go down, we get pieces, then we would get kind of a U-Haul mover type to bring it back to our house. So we put a lot of time, energy, and love into it. So I always fought to keep the furniture and to ship it from California to Florida. Now, the reason you wanted to sell it was because we had rented an Airbnb in Florida.
Yeah.
And it was fully furnished. So we had to get storage, for all of our stuff. But we knew that one day we'd get a place and we'd want it. Well, that Airbnb for 2 months turned into renting the house in Reunion for a solid, I think it was like 8 months.
Yeah.
We loved it, and we just started exploring all of the areas. And as we would explore it, we knew that this was just an area that we loved. The Reunion, Champions Gate communities, they're just so beautiful, and they're really up and coming. There's so many different shops, restaurants. Now there's a hospital, more homes. I mean, it's being built left and right.
It's pretty incredible to watch.
It's wild. So after that, we go, well, we need to rent something, because at the moment, this was last spring, would you say? This is when the market was starting to get really, really crazy for real estate. And even trying to rent a house, I mean, we got outbid so many times. Remember, we were trying to rent a home because we were trying to figure out where we wanted to end up. So we go, you know what? There's this new build apartment. I know we said we never do apartment living again because Freddie just goes crazy with any moment of sound.
Yeah, it's just I'm over it.
You're over it.
17 years of renting.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I've heard every door bang, music, bass, screaming, things smashing, toilets flushing, packages delivering, smoke alarms. We've had the full apartment experience.
I think so.
I can tie it in a bow and I can say I'm grateful for it. And it's now time to move on.
100%. So we go, you know what? We'll do it one last time. We'll figure out where we want to buy, where we want to live. Well, right as we moved in, we kept an eye on the market, obviously, because we're in real estate. And things just kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Yeah. And to be a buyer, you're dealing with multiple cash offers, bidding wars left and right. So we go, okay, it's a good thing we got this place. We got to figure out what we're going to do. Well, our lease is up here in August.
Yeah.
And we kind of decided, let's start looking just at what's on the market now, keep ourselves educated in our price range just so we can know everything. And as we continued to look, we go, this is going to get even crazier come this spring. And we're probably not going to be able to get a house because we'll be outbid, and there's the whole appraisal situation.
Yes.
So how would you best describe that?
I think the best way to describe it is just to give an example of what's going on with the appraisal. So first-time home buyers, and I don't want this to be discouraging. This is like a great teachable moment because Alyssa and I needed to know this as well. So traditionally, if you're a first-time home buyer, you can put down, say, 3%. So if you're going to buy a $300,000 house, you put down $9,000. You can get the loan, get the house, but there is closing costs, which is, say, another like $9,000, usually around 3%. So in the real world, before this new market, if you were going to buy a $300,000 house at 3% down as a first-time home buyer, you'd put down $9,000 down payment, $9,000 closing costs, and that would be $18,000 cash out of your pocket, and you move right into your $300,000 home. And if it was a buyer's market, you might even get that seller to pay some of your closing costs. So
Right.
maybe it's only $15,000 to get in. So you look at yourself and go, you know what? I can save $15,000. Maybe I have a credit card or a gift from a family member. $15,000, no big deal. I'm gonna do that. Well, what's happening in today's market is that $300,000 house is being listed on the MLS, and that $300,000 home is now going for $350,000. So you might be approved for $350,000, and you go, I can afford $350,000. But the problem is that when you put an offer in for $350,000 and you're accepted, the bank that you're loaning money from is going to send an appraiser out there in a week when you're under contract. And they're going to poke around and they're going to say, so you bought this for $350,000, but after doing the appraisal, this is only worth $325,000. So what happens? Well, the bank will only lend you $325,000. But what about the other $25,000? You, the buyer, has to come up with that in cash. So now all of a sudden the 15 grand now turns into 40 grand that you need to get into this $350,000 home. The other problem is that sellers are aware that this appraisal is an issue. So if they get 30 offers, or let's even make it nicer and say 5 offers, it's more rare for them to choose a 3% down payment or a 5% down payment over someone putting 20%, 30%, or in cash, because they know a week in to their house being under contract, it's not going to fall through.
Yep.
So they're like, look, this 20%er, it has the cash. So if this appraisal comes back low, they have the cash to make it up. Where a 3%er, if they're like, look, we saved every single, like, we cannot spend a penny over 15, the seller is probably not going to go with you because there's a chance that after the appraisal comes back, the deal's going to fall through, and now they have to put their house back up on the market, do another open house. So you just have to hope that it's a house that there's not many offers, or that you write a beautiful letter and you say, look, I got a little extra cash, and you can go with the 3%er. Yeah. But this is the struggle that people who are putting 3 to 5% or first-time home buyers are having. Even individuals with a VA loan who are like, look, I'm a VA loan. That means I can put no money down. Yeah, no money down. Payment. You're still not escaping the appraisal. So you might think, look, I only have $5,000, $10,000. But again, you have to bid sometimes $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over in order to secure the house. But then when the appraisal comes back, you do have to put $25,000 down.
Yep.
So that's the struggle. And with Alyssa and myself, we were looking at fixer-uppers. We were looking at hopping into this market, but we didn't want to put $50,000 cash down. We have been waiting to do so many different things in business, and we want to hire people. We don't want our cash tied up in the house. So we go, well, what do we do? Because we're helping out clients right now who are in the same budget as we are. And one of our clients in particular, we've been helping for a few months. And as we're sending all these listings, the more and more we're watching what someone could have gotten for $350 in October is already now $425 today.
Exactly.
So we're looking around going, if we wait till summer or end of summer, there might not be anything in Central Florida under $450,000 or under $500,000.
Yep.
And then what do you do? So that's a bigger question for everybody. Again, I don't want to sound discouraging, but this is just the real thing that's happening, that I think we're going through a phase in our country, maybe potentially in the world. I don't know the real estate market everywhere, but are people going to be able to get into homes?
Well, what's really interesting is we're seeing a lot of foreign money come in with cash. The interesting thing with new builds is it works one of two ways. You go in, if they have a lot available, which right now in Florida, I mean, a lot of these new builds we go into, you see sold.
When you drive around.
Yeah, on every lot. But if they have a lot available, it's either first come, first serve, or some builders do best and final. So where we got our property at, it's with D.R. Horton, the builder. And the way they work is on the weekends, they'll release, 2 lots that are available. And you do your best and final Sunday by 4 p.m. And if you have the best one, you can get it. But if no one bids on it, then that Monday morning, you can just do whatever you want.
First come, first serve Monday morning if it's not sold.
Exactly. So it was interesting because originally Freddie and I were looking at this 4-bedroom. There were 2 available lots, and we go, this would be amazing. But we knew that there would be multiple offers on it. We just knew because it's
when there's no parking at the sales office and there's only 2 lots.
We drove by Saturday before that Sunday, and there were just all these nice cars and all these people in suits, and we're like, oh, honey, this is not looking
They look
good.
like cash buyers or something.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
So we ended up on Sunday calling the sales rep over there, and he goes, look, we have cash offers on the 4-bedroom. And at that point we go, well, that's not going to work for us because we can't outbid that. And he goes, this is really rare, but the other model, the 3-bedroom, doesn't have any. And he goes, so if you want to put an offer in, let me know. So we did. We were so excited because we really love this model, and to be able to get any home, I mean, just so filled with gratitude. So we put our offer together, and then it was 3 p.m. And he goes, all right, well, we have an hour. Let's see what happens.
Till the deadline before it was
deadline,
ours.
because someone could have came in.
Outbid us with cash and took it.
So we are just pacing Sunday, and we were like just walking around our apartment going, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then at like 4:06 p.m., he texted me and he goes, you got it. The house is yours. And he sent all these confetti emojis in there. And how'd you feel when you first heard that news?
It was amazing because what were the chances that no one bid on that?
Miracle.
Because that's what we were trying to avoid. Because when you do a new build, there are no appraisal issues.
Correct.
So we were like, we don't have to deal with that. The bidding, we were like, maybe we're lucky and no one bids, because it's not like a, hello, everyone, here's a new home on Main Circle, Forest Ridge, or whatever, and everyone's going into it. This is kind of done behind the scenes. Like, new builds aren't announced on the MLS, really.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not. And this specific one wasn't. Not. So agents weren't on the MLS going, ooh, got to send my client this weekend. And that is, I think, the miracle of it all. Because even with my sister's new build, that wasn't on the MLS either. It was on Trulia, which is interesting. Yeah. But it allowed us to not have a ton of agents coming in there trying to send their clients, which, it was a hidden gem. I'm so grateful.
It really was. And then we haven't finalized all this yet, and every single builder can be a little different. But they do give you an incentive sometimes that if you use their preferred lender, they can give you credits towards your closing cost. Mm-hmm. So we have to kind of see if that's the route, that we're going to go with that. But that's why we were like, oh, new builds might be the way for first-time home buyers.
Sure.
If you happen to get lucky, like how we did, where there wasn't any bids. But
my sister had a bidding war, though, pretty much.
Yeah, they had to put a lot of cash.
Yeah.
So that whole theory goes out the window because your sister, they had to put down
quite a
some
bit.
coin to be able to be
coin.
the best
but
offer.
But
they got it. So they're going to be closing soon. But we're right down the street from them. But yeah, it was just like, I felt amazing. And what's even more wild, when we were there a week ago, we said, what's the price of this house? And he said, here's the 3-bed, here's the 4-bed. And I go, that's actually not too bad. By the time they listed it, 8 days later, the price that it was when we first saw it 8 days prior was $16,000 more.
Unbelievable.
And he told us at the beginning, he goes, I don't know when these are going to be released, but the prices are going up about $2,000 to $4,000 every week. Mm-hmm. And it went up $16,000. So we ended up paying $16,000 more because we got it at list price because there was no other bids. So we're very fortunate. But that's what I was celebrating, because there is a couple more around that area that are going to be released probably in the next couple months. And I can't wait to look what they're going for, because Alyssa and I, fingers crossed, by July, I feel we're going to move into our house with maybe $50,000 of equity already.
Well, what else is quite interesting, the sales rep had told us the same model that we had purchased a year ago went for $100,000 less.
Yep.
So they already have $100K equity. So we just knew we so badly wanted to get into this market. It was so important. The timing aligned fabulously with our lease being up in August. Our house should be ready in about 4 to 6 months. So it could be a little earlier. We'll figure it out. But I'm just so incredibly grateful. And I wanted to ask you, what was your horoscope on Sunday when we got the house?
Just that I was going to get a double shot of happiness, expansion, and it was going to be a day filled with miracles.
So I think we know what that miracle was.
Yeah.
It really was. And this market, it's pretty wild, and we don't know. That's the thing. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, and for us too, Alyssa and I, the house is a huge milestone. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to not have neighbors. I'm excited to have a yard. I'm excited to have my parents over. I want to redo the garage. I could do a whole podcast on what I want to do with the garage for the podcast studio and everything like that. So I'm definitely excited about the house. But for me, I'm excited to just have this done so that we can focus on what we do. Yeah. Like Alyssa and I just wanted a place to live. It's a good investment. We're going to gain equity on it no matter what. Yeah. And it's like the first time in our life that we're like, oh, we're making a good decision where just by the right timing,
the first time
we're
in
going
our
to
life.
make money by doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then in Florida, this is really neat. If you live in your primary residence for 2 years, then sell it, you don't have to pay capital gains tax. So even if Alyssa and I are just in this home for 2 years and say it goes up 50, 100,000, we could sell the home and pocket those capital gains and not have to pay tax on it. So we could use that capital gain to put down on another house if we want to move, or we might just stay here for a very long time because we want to, yet again, now that we've reshifted our mindset, it's not even about the flashy cars or house at the moment. It's like, how do we keep as much cash as possible so that we can start hiring people? We've been talking about hiring people for the past year and a half, but it just hasn't been the correct time because we've had to get things situated. But I care more about building our podcast, our content machine, and our real estate business more than I do having a 10-foot pool and hot tub in the back at the moment.
Sure.
It just isn't worth it. And in Florida, the HOA fees, the property taxes in some of these places are through the roof. This allotment, we struck another gold mine because the property taxes are lower than, I've never seen property taxes lower. Ever. And we've searched entire Central Florida with all of our clients and looking, we know. I've never seen property taxes lower. The HOA is only $80 some. And I go, this is phenomenal. Our monthly overhead's going to be low. And the cool part too of being agents, when we put down our down payment, we're going to get 3% back in the commission because DR Horton offers the agents 3% commission. So the day we close and put down our down payment, we're getting a 3% kickback. And if we ever sell it, or when we sell it, we don't have to pay ourselves.
Right.
So you pay probably 2.5 to the buyer agent, another % for closing, but you don't lose much money on selling it. So being an agent has really helped in that way as well. So it's just been wild. I still kind of can't believe it that we're getting emails and updates and they're like, yeah, your house and here's what's going to look like. I'm like, our house.
I'm like, oh gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I feel for us, when we lived in California, we had made, our place a home, and I was really big on obviously decorating, making it nice. And then when we moved to Florida, we lived in a furnished house, so couldn't make it my own. Then we moved to the apartment. We made it cute, whatever, with the space that we had. But I'm very excited. I've always wanted this, to have our own house where if we want to do any renos or just however it's going to be, it's our house.
Exactly.
So it's more likely that we're going to want to make it feel really good and, just all the little things because we own it.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Daigle Bites podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Daigle. I'm a singer that hails from the deep swamps of Louisiana. I ventured my way up to Nashville to take the risk of jumping in on the pipe dream of singing on stages other than the ones I grew up seeing. Along this journey, I wrote a song called You Say, and what came next absolutely changed my life. I found myself in tour buses, singing on stages all over the world. And every single night I would get asked the question, what would Lauren Daigle be doing if she hadn't pursued music? Well, this season of Daigle Bites is answering just that, and I'm bringing you along with me on this adventure. Every week, I chat with some of my heroes outside of the music world, ranging from astronauts to florists to authors, to learn what drives their creativity, passion, and purpose. You can hear new episodes each week only on Amazon Music.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, we definitely want to do some sort of a fence in the backyard.
Of course.
So that Benji doesn't, he can just have his yard. And the garage for me, we're going to build the most badass podcast studio ever.
And we're going to have air conditioning in said garage because Florida gets hot in the summer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll run all that. We're going to put down floors. So we have all these different plans to really make it a home.
So what do you see in the garage? What exactly do you want? Your perfect world.
We got to look at the space.
Yeah.
But I definitely wanted it to be the podcast studio first. I just want it to be all set up because even here, we're stepping around cords, the light. Like, I just can't wait to fasten the lights to the ceiling. So I just turn on a switch and there's not clutter.
Yes.
I want to build a beautiful set. I want to bring our table back. Yes. I want to have our TV on the screen so when we read ads or sponsors, I hate having to look down. Like, I want to be able to look at the TV screen
Sure.
And go, hey, bubbly water is amazing, and here's a 15% discount. Like, I want to look at the camera.
Yeah.
We also want to be able to have guests come over, and then once we hire a videographer editor, I want there to be space for them to come and be able to do stuff. But there's going to be room. It's only going to take up half the garage. So the other half, I kind of want to do some sort of a man cave type thing. Ooh. And I really want to make it specific, because when our families are together, I know that my dad and Rick and Jim and myself can all be just in the garage. You know, maybe I'll be having beer by then. And then I know with all the kids and you ladies will be in the, the kitchen, living room. It's just how it always works. Like my whole entire life, the guys were always in one place. The ladies were always in the other. And I just want a place. And then again, which I've mentioned a million times, but I've been just like dying to do projects with my dad. I want to continue to learn. And so all these renovations, we don't ever have to pay for labor.
It's amazing.
So we're going to be able to do some like really sick,
cool things.
Just cool, like build out a bar and do all this from scratch and just have to pay for materials, which is great. So that's how I see it. I just want it to be like a little bit of a man cave, an awesome podcast studio. So when we come to sit down, we just flip a switch, like on a surge protector. Lights come on, it's clean, and we have to just make sure there's no echo. So we'll have to work on that.
Yeah, oh, that's true.
And then really start, and then I think that's what's going to be. We want to continue to get better, continue to have riveting conversations, interesting education, entertainment through that. And then once we have the space and we have a team, we want to start getting back into guests. Even if we have to Zoom, we just have to find a better way to do it, because sitting at a computer and Zooming isn't good. I don't like that. we have to do it in a creative way. So bear with us. I think this has been going great ever since we got back in the studio.
Isn't it nice?
Because we can always tell if it's doing well based on comments, watch time. There's a lot of metrics that we look at. And so thank you. And but aesthetically, we want to make it even cooler. And it'll be cool to see the progression over the years, that we started at a table on Facebook Live, and we'll build our own studio in our garage. So what are you most excited about?
Listen, here's the deal. I know it's a new build, but it's more of a basic foundation, if you will. I always dreamed that when I had a house, I could have my kitchen specific. So I'd like to do a few things there, even cupboards, lighting, maybe the countertops, that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited to do the bathroom, because I've always wanted like a freestanding tub that they have like these gold accents and they come up and they hang over. It's stunning. Yeah. But I guess to close, we are just so stoked. This was such an incredible opportunity for us to be able to secure this new home, and I just can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
And we'll take videos and pictures. We'll show you the process. We'll fill you in on everything we learn along the way. We should be moving about 4 to 6 months. So, anywho, we are homeowners now, and it's kind of like when we first get married. It's like weird to say husband and wife, but then it's like normal. So I'm starting to feel like a homeowner, even though we haven't seen it built yet.
Big time homeowner.
Big time adult puzzle.
Hey, there you go. Adulting at its finest.
So, all right, everyone. We're wishing you the absolute best. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next Wednesday. Take care, everybody.